Alright everybody, it is Sunday. We have one playoff game today. If you came to my channel and you're new, my name is Captain Crush. I will be your host for the next 15 or so minutes. What I do here is I break down fantasy scores on PrizePicks, Thrive Fantasy, Underdog Fantasy, DraftKings, anything relating to fantasy sports, I cover it. My goal is to make you a better fantasy sports player. This is a hobby that I love. I have a passion for it and I hope you do too. If you stick around, I promise to make you a better player. I do so by teaching you the process, the right ways to do things, and the wrong ways to do. That being said, let's take a look at what we got. All right, Boston Celtics versus the 76ers, 6.5 point spread. The one game we have today, Celtics are at home, game 7, over under 201. Everybody's hyped. This could turn into a low scoring defensive fest, so we will have to wait and see. First, let's go over to Thrive Fantasy where I make my two mans for everybody. I got two cooked up here. Willie Adams, less than 0.5 runs, and Tyrese Maxey, less than 23.5 points. If you're a new Thrive player, use code CRUSH and you'll get a free square. You can add it in here for a 3-man power and it'll become 5.2x. You can't beat it. All right. That being said, let's go over to PrizePicks where I discuss these fantasy scores. Okay. We got Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, James Harden. These are going to be your 3 heavy hitters tonight where you have to make your decision. Okay. Let's take a look at Joel Embiid. Now, I'm just going to keep it real with you guys like I always do. I'm not really targeting Joel Embiid's fantasy score today. 54.5. I have other props. I have the free square of him that I like still. Obviously, it's a free square that we're getting. And then I have another. I'm taking the under on his points, which may seem ridiculous because it's a must-win game, but they're always must-win games. Every single playoff game is a must-win game, and if you think differently, you're wrong. Okay, let the captain correct. So we can take a look at his fantasy score. Last time he had 47.5, 53.9, 56, 62. He has a true ceiling of about 70. Okay, we can go ahead and take a look at his fantasy point per minute and his usage rate. I got him down for 1.65, which is an extremely high fantasy point per minute, and a 37% usage rate, which is massive. Some of you ask what a usage rate is. A usage rate is a number that's quantified every time the player has the ball in their hands. So that's whether they're shooting, making plays, dribbling, whatever. That number, that percentage is how often it occurs. All right. The higher the number, the better. So while I have your attention, we'll continue to look here at my handy dandy notepad. Embiid, we already covered him. Tatum, 1.33 fantasy points per minute with a 32% usage rate. James Harden, 1.33 fantasy points per minute with a 25% usage rate. Jaylen Brown, the masked man, 1.21 fantasy points per minute with a 31% usage rate. Maxey, 0.95, 24% usage. Tobias Harris, 0.88, Smart, 0.89. You can see the list here. I'm not going to go over all of it, but we will be covering that right now. All right, so Jason Tatum, 52.5 fantasy score is always going to be in play. I took him last time. He sold by a little bit, and he barely had any points. I believe he had 3 points into the third quarter, okay? He has a ceiling of about 70. It just is what it is. Game 7 at home, 52.5. I would always take more here, never take less. I wouldn't, and with Joel Embiid, I wouldn't take less either. I would just fade the prop, to be honest with you, okay? I don't know if I'm going to take more. I may have one slip that looks just like this, okay? Where I take the 3 studs and just and throw in Marcus Smart and add that if I'm going to go to fantasy scores. But full disclosure, I'm not really doing fantasy scores today. I'm just not. I have other props that I like. Tyrese Maxey, 32 fantasy score. He's trending up. Look, red, trend up. It's a perfect graph of trending up. Can he do this in a game 7 in Boston? I'm not sure. I'm fading the prop, but I don't mind if you want to go there. Marcus Smart, he's always in play. He does get turnovers, so it is always risky when you take the fantasy score because that is -1 point, but he does get blocks and steals, which will give you 3 points apiece. If you want to take Marcus Smart, he does have a 40-point ceiling, 45-point ceiling. I don't hate it. I'm just, like I said, I'm not really in love with any of these. I have better props for all of them. Jaylen Brown, I never take his fantasy score. Tobias Harris, he's probably the one guy, him and Brogdon are probably the 2 guys that I would probably roll dice and take their fantasy scores because they're so low. 25 for both of these guys. Brogdon averages over a fantasy point per minute. Tobias Harris is right around 0.98 fantasy points per minute. He's probably the most risky option because he just hasn't been doing much this series. He's a great defender, but offensively, he just hasn't been doing much. Brogdon, he's always in the mix. He's always trying on the court. He's the 6th man for a reason. You can take more here and more here, probably roll the dice, but my favorite 2 would be Brogdon, Tatum, and then probably the Beard. I mean, I don't even want to take it. I don't have a favorite fantasy point from the 76ers. My favorite 2 are here on the Celtics, Tatum and Brogdon, and then probably Smart. It's that simple. But again, I have other props that I like. I'm not going to force the situation. It's one game. I'm not really excited about this game. I'm just not. It's a single game. You're getting great value if you do FanDuel or DraftKings same game parlays, but when we're doing single game on PrizePicks/Underdog, it's very hard to get good value because one game, it can blow out if you take the overs, and it can also go into overtime if you take the unders. So it's very hard to target these, which is why you get a better value on same game parlays. Okay, that being said, let's cover the target props that I want to look at. Okay, if I seem a little bit off my game, it's because I am. It's Mother's Day. I'm rushing to get through this for you guys, but I will get this done because I promise you guys every day there's an NBA game, I will cover it, okay? Jaylen Brown, over 3.5 free throws, 54% chance to hit, minus 150. My model projects it for 4. What do I mean when I say my model projects 4? That means that I look at my model, I take its projection, and I go with it, and I write it down. I'm full transparent about it. I don't always agree with the model. It's always going to be the 4 thing: the Vegas odds, the trends, narrative, and the model projection. Okay, that's not the order, but those are the 4 things that I always weight into my calculation. Joel Embiid, under 30.5 real points, minus 135, 53% chance to hit. Model projects him for 29. I will be having that a lot. Okay, another prop that I wanted to mention, Jaylen Brown, over 5.5 rebounds, 52% chance to hit, minus 130. My model projects it for 6.5. So we're getting almost a full rebound more on my model, which is great. He's been getting this done. He's going to be all over the place. It's a game 7. He should be able to get. I will be taking the more here, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I know I can sleep good at the end of the day knowing I made the right play, and that is what you guys should be focused on. Nothing else matters. Make the right plays day in, day out, and I promise you at the end of the year, you're going to be a winning player right beside me, okay? James Harden, under 36.5 PRA, minus 125, 52% chance to hit. My model projects it for 35.5, so it's right there, right on the number. If you don't want to take that, you could take his under assists. He's been getting right around 8.5 to 9 assists, but he's going to need 10 to beat us. We also have that push equity. It's a 53% chance to hit, minus 130. So if you want to go there, you can. Jason Tatum, more 9.5 rebounds, 52% chance to hit, minus 130. The model projects it for 9.8, which is literally only a 0.3 difference. That's kind of stinks about that one, but it is what it is. It's up to you to decide which ones you want to take. All right, so there we go. These are the 5 favorites that I have here. Joel Embiid, under 30.5 points, which is always going to be a risk. So if you say, Captain, Joel Embiid under 30.5, that's crazy. It absolutely is. Model projects it for 29. The Vegas odds have this in our favor. I believe they have it at 29.5, so we're getting a full point higher on PrizePicks to take the under. It's just something I'm going to take. I don't really mind it. I'm going to take it and see what happens. I have the free square in most of my slips, so this is just as a buff. Jaylen Brown, over 5.5 rebounds. I mentioned that. I really like it. I'll be taking it. James Harden, under 9 assists. Mentioned that, covered that analysis. That'll be one that I take. Jason Tatum, more 9.5 rebounds. This is probably my most risky one, the scariest one of all, because it's right around 9.8. And then lastly, one of my favorites on the board today, Malcolm Brogdon, over 14.5 points. Anytime I've been getting this line at 13 or 14.5, I take it. He's been doing good. He's been cashing. What do I always say when a player's cashing his line? We will ride that train till we are forced off. All right, so we covered the props that I wanted to target today. I wanted to go over that. There's only one game. There's not much we can do. I'm going to do a couple other props here that I like. Marcus Smart, over 17.5 points, rebounds. I like that one. It's not sexy by any means, because whenever you have Marcus Smart, it's always going to be a dice roll, but I will take this prop here, and I think I have two more actually. Al Horford, the scariest man on the board, the rickety old knees, all of it. 10.5 points assist. I like taking more there. It is a huge gamble. Don't get me wrong. If you take both of these and they sell, I will see you at the plasma bank right there with you, ready to give blood so we can get that bag. All right, so I discussed everything pretty much that I wanted to discuss here that I'll do for now. I will discuss more on the live stream and answer your questions, but for now, let's go over to Underdog Fantasy, where I made a pick'em contest. PJ Tucker, lower 9.5 points, rebounds, assists. James Harden, we get a free square over here today, higher than 0.5 points. You can use it up to $20. Unfortunately, you can't insure the slip, but I hit win here. It's 20 to win 400. Joey Weimer, over 0.5 hits, higher. Marcus Smart, higher than 17.5 points, rebounds. And Tyrese Maxey, lower than 25.5 points, rebounds. Okay, if you use promo code CRUSH, you only have to deposit $10. Their minimum deposit's $10. Use promo code CRUSH. You can fade or tail this slip right here with me. You'll get this James Harden free square today right before tip, and you'll get a free month of my Discord, the golden ticket, the gold package, when it launches later this week. It should be Monday, but we'll have to wait and see. The website is about 90% done, so bear with me on that. It is coming. All those promises will be honored. Okay, this is my Underdog Pick'em contest. All right, this is Outlier Bet. This is a very good app that I use on the daily basis, fam. It is a good app. It's not just me selling you something. It's a good app, okay? You get insights, you get player props, you get the Vegas odds, you get all of it. And if you link it to your sports books, you can literally put your plays in with one click. That's huge, okay? These are the insights. I read it just like I would a newspaper when I'm on the toilet or when I'm taking my dogs for a walk. This is what it is. Joel Embiid has failed to exceed 34.5 points in 20 straight playoff games, under 34.5 points. This is an alternate line that you can get on certain sports books. It'll give you these lines. lines. Okay, it covers the other game, the Denver game coming up. The Boston Celtics are 8-2, 80% against the spread versus Philadelphia. So if you're taking -6.5, you automatically know that they're 8-2 against that. That is something that's huge to know, and you would want to take that. All right, I can go through all here. I don't need to. You guys can read it. This is Outlier Bet. The link is in my description. Okay, stick around for one more minute because there's a couple more things I want to cover. Okay, you've made it to the end of the video. This is what I wanted to tell you guys. I appreciate you guys staying this long, but the Vegas odds, model projections, trends, game theory, and narrative, these are the 4 things that I use when making any of my calculations. This is the key to my process. Okay, the key to success in fantasy sports is listed above. My job goal is to teach you each of these steps so you can become a more profitable fantasy sports player. This is my goal. This is my mission. It's right here, black and blue, for you guys to see. No cap. Okay, I try to make this as entertaining as I can. These little videos like this, they're hard to make entertaining because I'm trying to give you the knowledge, but I will do my best as always. And trust me, I have watched a lot of other content lately to see how other people are doing it. And if I do say so myself, you guys are getting a pretty good deal with me because I pretty much break it down in detail, and I also make it way more entertaining than these bobbleheads that are just talking on the screen, not really doing much, not really saying anything, and they're not even showing their face half the time. So it takes a lot of courage to come on here and put your face to something. You know I'm gonna get hate if my props and my analysis is bad. People are always gonna hate, but it's the loyal soldiers like you that keep me going. I appreciate each and every one of you. It is Mother's Day, so I have a lot going on in the background in my house. I apologize. I'm a little bit off my game, but we will go live as soon as this video drops. I'll wait 20 minutes and then we will do a live stream up before lock. So I'm thinking live around 2 p.m. today. All right. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'm sorry that I'm a little bit off my game, as I said. If you learned anything today, like and subscribe. Smash that like button. It really helps me. It helps YouTube push the video out. Good luck. Give me a salute and crush.